Tons of crypto surging towards the upside today. We're seeing XLM, hbar, all on the move, but we don't want to be buying those cryptos right now. We need to be identifying the next coins that are going to be trending. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to find them, as well as 3 projects that I am personally buying into right now. So hit the like button. Let's dive into this video. So guys, first of all, I want to say thank you. We just reached over 30,000 subscribers, which is super exciting. And for that, I'm going to be giving away $100 worth of XLM, which I'll be announcing tomorrow. All you need to do is hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and write XLM down below, and I will pick one of you at random and announce it on a video I make tomorrow. Enough of that, let's get back into the video. Now, how do we identify what coins are going to be booming next? Well, these coins are all booming because of a trend. It's all the Fed Now stuff, which is starting today. So we need to work out what else is going to be trending in the coming month to the next sort of year or so. And there's one way we can do it very easily. Come across to one of 2 websites, and I'll show you the other one in a minute. DeFiLlama.com. Identify who is raising money right now. Who raises money before they even get into the main crypto market? There's companies raising money that will basically identify where we're going to go, because the big money knows what they're doing. They know where they're heading and they know the trends. So if we can follow the big money and look at the trends that they're looking at, then we're in for something very exciting. Now, what we can do on DeFi Llama is come down to raises and look at overview, and you can see these different projects who are raising money right now, and you can see what they're kind of the rounds they're in. You can see the amount of money they've raised and all that good stuff. And there is a bit of information here in the description, what they're kind of working towards. Infrastructure provider. It doesn't give us much information. So instead, we're going to come across to this other website, cryptofundraising.info, and then we see something very interesting. These here are the projects that are being raising for right now. These are the rounds, the series of rounds, and this is effectively how companies raise money, right? They raise money for their friends and family. They get proof of concept, they go early seed, late seed, series A, series B, and then up here is the ICO, the initial coin offering, which is when most people get in. And if you want to get in lower down on this tree, I'm going to show you how to do that later on in the video. But these are where the big money is buying in. They're identifying the trends. And this is where the trends are being identified. And look at these projects. So we come down through, look at what pops up over and over again. Zero knowledge. Zero knowledge, or ZK, is quite a complex thing to understand. I'm going to briefly give you an overview on what it roughly means, and then I want you to go away and research in detail what ZK is, because there's far more technical people out there who are going to explain it far better than I can, and they'll also do it in a full video, which I'm not going to do right now. But this is why it's so important. Vitalik Buterin of Ethereum has noted that layer 2 zero knowledge, or ZK, solutions are the future of Ethereum scaling. Now, in terms of layer 1s, we've got Ethereum, who is the daddy, guys. As much as people don't like it because it's expensive and it's slow, well, it's highly secure, and it is still going to be around for a very long time as the original main player in the blockchain. However, with those shortcomings, there is a need for a layer 2 solution, which deals with those shortcomings, such as improves its efficiency and improves its scalability. Now, ZK EVM, or Ethereum Virtual Machine, is thought of to be the holy grail of a blockchain technology, and it was thought that this would come in maybe 5 or 6 years' time because it's very technical and is very advanced. However, it's arrived early, which is obviously very exciting. It solves problems with scalability, decentralization, security, as well as making it easier for developers to have a better experience developing on those particular layer 1s. Now, before you had optimistic rollups such as Arbitrum. However, Arbitrum came with its issues. Transaction finality can take up to 2 weeks. It is EVM compatible with good levels of security, and transaction costs vary, but they are obviously reduced compared with that of Ethereum. In contrast though, a ZK rollup, or a zero knowledge rollup, takes hours to days. Compatible with trade-offs, it's ultimately more secure, and the cost varies, but ultimately is significantly lower than not only Ethereum, but also the optimistic rollups. And you're like, oh my, what is he talking about? Okay, let's get back to it. I understand it's confusing. I'm like you guys. I'm non-technical, okay? So just bear with me. This is what I do when I find something that I can't understand. or confuses me a bit, and I'll show you a trick. I go to ChatGPT and I'm like, what is ZK crypto? It gives me a really technical piece of information. I read it and I'm still like, wow, I still don't get it. Come down. Explain this to me as if I was 14 years old. Now, this is a great trick. If you, like me, are not the smartest, come to ChatGPT and you can just do this and it's going to explain it very simply. Now, I'll just give you a breakdown of what it tells you. Imagine you know a maths problem and you know the answer to the maths problem and you want to tell your classmate that you know how to solve that problem, but you don't want to tell them the answer to prove it. ZK knowledge is like this. It allows you to prove something without having to give the knowledge to be able to prove it. So, for example, you can tell someone that you've got enough money to buy this without having to show them how much money you've got. That should be a bit more straightforward. That's effectively how a ZK rollup works on Ethereum. And what it does is effectively roll up together all the Ethereum transactions. It processes them all through without actually having to explain what those transactions are, and therefore keeping the security, but ultimately making it more efficient and easier to use. Hopefully that makes sense. That's effectively the simplest kind of explanation I can give you right now, but I do recommend reading into this more. So across to the exciting part, if we know that the trend is coming and we know that lots of investment is going from the big money into these types of projects right now, then we know that we must find projects that are dealing with this issue and are already in the game, soon to be releasing or maybe have already released. Now, when it comes to crypto, I like to have exposure to a variety of projects, not just the biggest, not just the smallest, but kind of a mixture, because the big ones, they have less risk, but ultimately less reward. Smaller ones give you the degenerate gains, but ultimately you may never see that money again. So we're going to start with the top one, Polygon. So we're going to start with the very first one, which you probably have heard of, which is Polygon, with a market cap today of $7 billion. Now, Polygon has obviously been around for a few years now and is already well recognized, having already got relationships with the likes of Starbucks, Adidas, and many others. And Polygon ZK EVM, which is now in its beta stages, is the leading ZK scaling solution that is equivalent to Ethereum virtual machine, the vast majority of existing smart contracts, as well as developer tools and wallets will all work seamlessly. Now, obviously, Polygon has been around for a bit and has started to work in various other areas, but this is a hugely important piece of tech, and it will be the very first ZK EVM on Ethereum that is put into practice. So this makes it a very exciting potential project here. Now, we already know that it's got a massive market cap, and if you understand, simply put, because it's already got a big market cap, for it to move 10%, it has to add like $700 million in valuation. That means it's very difficult to see huge returns in Polygon. But unlike other projects that I might talk about today, it has far less chance of going to zero. So that means that it has lower risk to reward, but because it's larger market cap, and because it's going to be like the first really working ZK EVM out there, you could say that it's far better positioned initially to take gains from, and then maybe move down the line to other projects. Now, the next one we're going to look at, guys, is ZK Sync or ZK Sync. This is a huge project right now, because right now it's in the extremely early stages of like public offerings and things like that. And as well, if you don't have much money in crypto, but you have a lot of time on your hands, well, guys, get in and study these new trending areas. And things like ZK Sync have airdrops going on, so you can get in and get potentially your hands on some free crypto just by doing a various number of tasks. The less money you've got, the more time you have to sacrifice. It works like that, guys, and you can really change the game with really very little money by getting into things like ZK Sync right now. ZK Sync's been around since 2020 and is phenomenally exciting. ZK Sync Era is a layer 2 protocol that scales Ethereum with cutting-edge ZK tech. Our mission is not only to merely increase Ethereum's throughput, but to fully preserve its foundational values: freedom, self-sovereignty, decentralization, and scale. Now, this is really interesting because if you have ever looked at layer 1s, you'll know most of them struggle with a few different things. Now, there's a trilemma, okay? Each layer 1 aims to be scalable, it aims to be secure, and it aims to be decentralized. However, as you've probably seen with Ethereum, Solana, whatever, they don't really ever manage to achieve all three of these things completely seamlessly. Ethereum obviously lacks in terms of its ability to be scalable. However, it is ultra secure and ultra decentralized. You look at Solana, which is highly scalable, but lacks in terms of decentralization and also lacks in terms of security. Now, what's very important about what we're seeing in these trends right now and why they're trending, and it's covering it here, is the Web3 element. To meet Web3's exponential demand, blockchain needs to scale like the internet, processing an unlimited number of transactions with a marginal impact on security or costs. We call the properties hyperscalability, and this is the ultimate goal of the era's design. Now, you can get into detail here, guys. I'm only going to be giving you a broad brush to these projects right now and why they're exciting. This, again, is a trending project. It's seen a load of investment already, but it's a very, very early on. And I think before everyone sort of realizes it, that this is going to be an area to be paying attention to. You've only got to go to YouTube and realize no one's talking about ZK stuff right now, but seeing that the big money's flowing into the space, to understand that this is an area you can get ahead of the game before everyone else starts talking about it. You can come across their Twitter page, 1.1 million followers, okay, guys? You can go in and you can get through and read all this details. There's loads of guys as well who are giving great alpha, explaining how you can get into their layers, into their airdrops and stuff like that. And if you subscribe, I'll continue to bring you more updates on how you can study this, how you can use free tools to find these projects all the time. Now, another project I'm going to tell you about, guys, right now is Taiko. This is another exciting project, much smaller perhaps than the others that we've talked about, obviously, which comes with its risks. This is getting a lot of interest right now. Now, the difference between like ZK Sync and Taiko, effectively, they're all doing a similar thing, but they're all focusing on one of the key elements, whether that be like decentralization, scalability, security, etc. And Taiko, as you can see coming down through here, is focusing mainly on a seamless developer experience. Now, previously, ZK stuff has been extremely difficult to develop on, so I'm told. I'm obviously not a developer, I'm obviously not a technical, but Taiko makes it very easy. They also use open source code, allowing for other developers to come and use it. Now, something else I forgot to mention about what's happening on ZK Sync is at the moment they've already got over 200 developers waiting to build on their platform, which is very exciting. It shows interest. Taiko as well arriving at a good time, with less interest perhaps than what's going on the other one, which is key, because if you get in early, remember, the earlier you can get into any of these projects, the more chance you can have of seeing big success investing. So now that's another one worth paying attention to. This project is not yet on CoinMarketCap because it is yet to launch. It will have an initial coin offering, and you need to go and give them a follow on Twitter or get in their Discord or whatever. I'm not associated with these projects in any way, guys. It's just what I do, right? When I find these new projects that I know are in a trending environment, I go and I try and get involved at ICO. If I can, I will get involved before. And you're like, how do you get involved before ICO? Because you need big money to be venture capital, to be involved pre-ICO. But why is it important that you can try and get involved then? Well, it's because of this, the early stage funding cycle as we know it. Okay, now look, prepare for IPO. Here, it's already worth around $50 million. And these big projects will sometimes be worth $100 million plus before you even get a chance to buy them. Why does that matter? Well, if you buy in and it's got a valuation of 100 million, for that to go to $1 billion means you're only going to get a 10x, only a 10x, but you're taking that risk of buying an ICO. However, if you were buying in down here at like $10 million in Series B, then it gets to $1 billion and you make 100x. There's a big difference of being able to buy in just before. However, I've got bad news for you. Most people don't have a chance to do this because it's only open to big money venture capital, where you need a minimum of like 50 to 100K to be able to get in. However, I've got good news for you. For just $9.99 with a 5-day free trial, we have created a venture capital firm that will allow you to be able to invest pre-ICO. And you can do it with smaller amounts of cash, okay? You don't need to have now 100K, 50K set aside to invest in these projects to get that massive opportunity to be buying in at ultra low cost, because through a group of us, we can do this together, and you're going to be able to access this through the Inner Circle Discord, which is linked down below. It's just $9.99 per month. This will enable you to be able to invest in a project that Polygon Studios has also been investing in right now, and we are literally raising money for this project in the next 5 days. We have a 5-day deadline, so if you want to get in and be able to invest in a project like the ones we've been talking about before anyone else out there, and get into the Inner Circle. You won't just get this though, guys. You'll also get daily technical analysis from some expert traders. As well as that, you can chat and meet all sorts of people from around the world who are enthusiastic about crypto. We've also got an airdrop zone, so you can learn about airdrops, NFTs, and so much more. All available in the Inner Circle Discord, link down below. Guys, if you found that video useful, hit the like button. If you want to make that $100 in XLM, then make sure you subscribe, right? XLM down below. Hit the like button. See you tomorrow with another video. Bye-bye.